Hey traders, I'm James, one of the content team leaders here at A1 Trading, and as we start today's stream, I wanted to let you know about one of our show's main sponsors, FX2 Funding. With all the craziness going on in the prop firm space, we're excited to share some of the solutions FX2 Funding has put together for their traders. First, FX2 is rolling out DX Trade, which is a web-based trading platform that provides traders a smooth trading experience. It also looks super cool too, but that's not all. By signing up with FX2, you get access to C-Trade. C-Trade is a trading terminal where you can create custom indicators or download ones from the community. Get access to all of this and more by signing up for FX2. So, for traders looking to get funded, you can get 15% off by using promo code A1Trading15. That's A1Trading15. The link and promo code can also be found in the description. Now, onto the show.
All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you're doing well. And it's an exciting day in the office. I'm going to give you some fun, exciting news here in a moment. Real quick, I got to do my little intro music. Hold on. Here we go. There it goes. All right. Okay, so quick little update. We're going to be taking a look at charts. We're going to look at what's going on with gold, what's going on with the stock market, what's going on with the dollar. We're going to talk all about it today. The VIX is up 2%. Hey, VIX. Look at VIX. Poor VIX has just gotten destroyed over and over as the market just keeps ripping higher. Okay, so in this live stream, I got a lot of stuff to do. First of all, I'd like to just take a look at the S&P 500 here this morning, see if it's doing anything, and absolutely nothing. S&P's been real quiet. Makes sense, though. Everything is kind of behind us right now or ahead of us, depending on how you'd like to slice it. We do have CPI next week. That's going to probably be the highlight moment of next week. I believe that is the 15th. It's a Wednesday. Yeah. So we've got CPI next week, but this week is Can you guys hear me now? Sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. So I was just saying, so far, market doesn't seem to be moving that much this morning outside of potentially the pound, just because you had some, they kind of had their central bank reporting. The Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee had their official bank rate votes this morning. And the way this vote works is there's these three numbers, right? So we got 0, 2, 7. But what does that mean? The first number is how many members voted to increase rates. The second is how many voted to decrease rates. And the third is how many voted to hold rates. So 2 voted to decrease, 3 voted to hold. The forecast was all 9 of them to hold. So that's a pretty dovish vote. So they're voting for rate cuts. So you would think maybe the pound would go down on that. Well, it did initially. You can see the pound traded lower, and technically is still lower on the day, albeit not that much. The bigger story is that, okay, looks like the central bank of England, the Bank of England, wants to cut. That's kind of what was in consensus. I believe the outlook is for a cut in August for the Bank of England. Meanwhile, in the U.S., expectations still hover around September. Anyways, let's take a look at the dollar here today. Dollar pulling back slightly, but had a big pop. You can actually see the dollar moved higher during that period from the Bank of England, simply because if other central banks are looking dovish, it could lead to the dollar being relatively on top. So, you know what did like this market a lot, or this news a lot? Gold. Gold liked this a lot. You guys ready for your quiz question here?
You what?
Your quiz question of the day, okay? Your quiz question of the day is, why is gold up on the Bank of England's news? I mean, take a look at this. Right as they reported, gold starts pushing up. Fundamental trainees or experts, why is the Bank of England's monetary policy here? Why is this making gold go up on the hourly chart? Anybody tell me? The answer is any central bank, even though this doesn't have anything to do with the pound, right? Gold versus the dollar. Rate cuts, whether they're from the US, whether they're cuts from, I believe, Sweden cut rates. There was another country that cut rates as well. Cooling in the monetary policy section is usually good for gold, especially when it's linked with, economic slowdown, right? Fetch me their souls. Yes. Many an hour spent on COD zombies for me and Frank. Probably could have done some better things with that time, but it's okay. Yeah, so anyways, the idea is if you have central banks cutting interest rates, that looks good, right? For gold, it's positive, whether it's the US central bank or not. A trend towards central banks wanting to cut rates is a positive for gold. Euro USD long, what do you think? From a technical perspective, I kind of like it, but at the same time, I don't like it. This fizzled out, this long wick at the top is a little sketchy. But let me check the edge finder. I think it is giving us a bullish reading on euro. Yeah, Euro USD is technically getting a bullish read. But to be honest, if I want to trade the dollar, I'm so much more interested in gold. Like, being bullish euro, I'm going to pay swaps because I have to trade that on a Forex broker. I'm going to pay swaps to hold euro USD. Whereas with gold, you might say, oh, well, Nick, you got to pay swaps on gold too. But because I'm in the US, I trade GLD. So let me show you this. Here's my current. I'm not logged into my broker. Hold on. I'm just going to do this. I'm not logged in on TradingView, but I'll just pull it up here for a second. Give me a moment. Positions. So what I can do if I want to trade gold is I just trade GLD. As a swing trader, this is perfectly fine for me to gain exposure to the price of gold through an ETF that tracks the price of gold. So I prefer to go long gold, and that's what I've done. So I'm currently sitting in a position. It's doing okay. We're up like $1,500 on this trade. The question is, with this monetary policy, kind of pivot here or trend of central banks around the world looking to cut rates, I like that story for gold. Rather than try and pick the best of the worst currency pair, I would prefer to just kind of go generally bullish against fiat currencies. Because gold, remember, the cool thing about gold is that, yes, it's priced against the dollar, but it's not isolated to the dollar's impact. This is basically, when you buy gold, what I love about it and why I'm generally more bullish on gold than I am ever bearish is because you're making a bet against fiat currency in general. You're saying, okay, I'd rather buy something that always has value versus something that they endlessly print more of, right? It does not mean if it was perfect and that easy, then gold would just move like this. But it does not, right? So gold still has really tough periods. So you could totally make money on the short side with gold when it's appropriate. But for me right now, if we're trending towards rate cuts around the world, then yeah, I mean, I'm going to lean towards something else. Okay, 231K just came out for unemployment claims, slightly higher than expected. They also revised the number up 1,000 from previous on the previous report. So 231 came out. Let's take a look how that is impacting the dollar here. Dollar index on a 15-minute chart. Not like in that claims number. You can see there is a sell-off in the dollar index here this morning. How's the stock market going to react? I think if the trend recently makes sense, that's going to be a positive for the stock market. Stock market's been cheering the slowdown in the jobs department. It sounds weird, but it does kind of make sense in the sense that, cooling jobs allows for rate cuts to still be on the horizon. So this is not bad if you're cheering for rate cuts. By the way, the biggest cheerer of rate cuts is gold, right? Remember, gold would love to see central banks cutting rates, whether it's the US or other ones, because that would decrease the dollar's attractiveness. Not only the dollar's attractiveness, but more importantly, the dollar's purchasing power. Because if they lighten up and they, loosen up, really, more printing happens, more dollars. More dollars means gold becomes relatively more attractive. I hope that makes sense. You can pretty much, I can talk about how bullish I am on gold in general forever. But there are times, even though, I'm always bullish on two things in the long term, stocks and gold. Bitcoin, I'm just not necessarily a believer. I do think that, if you're a believer, it can have some really outsized returns. You can actually generate some nice alpha on Bitcoin if it sticks around. That's why I've contemplated, if we get a good dip, I might actually build a little position on Bitcoin, but it's going to always stay a small portion of my portfolio. It's just not something that I have conviction in, like gold and good companies. Those things, however, don't go straight up and to the right all the time. There's periods of times where gold really stinks as something to hold on to. I mean, think about this. If you had bought gold in December of 2023 and just held it, you made 0% on your money in 3 months, right? But that's not even the worst case. I mean, you could have held it. We could paint a really terrible picture on gold. You guys ready for this? This is the worst. If you think like, oh, just buy and hold, it's so easy. Look at this. What if obviously I'm cherry picking the worst case example, but if you had bought gold in the 1980s, you would have held it and not made a penny on it all the way until 2008. That is a long time to wait to make no gain on an investment. I'm pretty sure none of us would want to do that, right? Nobody wants to hold something for 30 years to get a return on it, and by the way, you adjust that for inflation, it's probably just a massive loss, even when it gets back to break even, because adjusted for inflation is even worse. So there are times, and why I'm not a big, buy and hold many things, is there's times to be long gold, there's times to be long stocks, and there's times to be more diversified. There's times to bet on volatility. The cool thing about being a trader is you can just be more adaptive, and that's what I love. Grandpa, curse you. I mean, gold in the very long term has done pretty well. So my point is, when people say like, I'll just buy and hold, when you have hindsight in your favor, the problem is like, you could say that about, stocks, right? You could say, look, you just buy and hold and it looks so easy. But then, I point to the recent example was 2022. What if you had bought and held here? Look at this. If you bought and held the S&P from 2022, obviously I'm picking the high, so I am cherry picking the worst possible example in recent history. But you would have held on to that thing and not made any gains for around 2 years, right? 2 years just to make a modest gain. Now, if you kept holding, then yes, you've been rewarded since that. You'd be up in 861 days, you'd be up 7.86%. Still not that great, right? So buy and hold is certainly a portion of my own kind of personal finance. But when it comes to my active trading account, I'm trying to get a little bit better than just passive investing. Inflation and printing money still paying for the pandemic. Good for gold. Yes. So, yeah. Guys, I also want to make a quick announcement. So here's something for you. This is my announcement that I have to hold on. So are you guys keeping up with my my recent Twitter drama, my trading challenge that I did? If you're keeping up, type yes in the chat really quick. We're going to do something fun. Today, we have our first I'm thrilled because later I'm interviewing them. It's going to be fun. But okay, cool. Yeah, lots of people keeping up. Awesome. I don't know if you guys like this kind of content. I mean, to be honest, it's been a content experiment for me because I get hate all the time, right? Actually, I should take that back. I have pretty modest hate. Like, I feel like I don't get nearly as much as some other people experience. Some people just get absolutely obliterated in their comment section, and some people deserve it, to be fair. But I get my modest dose of criticisms and hate. But here's what I want to mention. Somebody passed my challenge. They got paid, and I sent them $1,000. But you guys know my end of the deal was we're going to do some community giveaways. Thanks to this trader who was able to share their live performance. So I'm not going to reveal who it is just yet because we're going to interview them. I'm going to make a formal announcement on Twitter and on YouTube, which is fun. I'm so thrilled to pay profitable traders, but I also made a promise to the community. And what we're going to do here is we're going to be giving away $1,000. We're going to give away $500 to 2 different people. Would you guys like me to drop the link here for you? Give me a second to grab that link. We've got the giveaway here. Okay. Nick made more from the Twitter beef, from the 2-year return on the S&P. Jamie, maybe I should have maybe I should take bets like this more often. I could just keep giving away all the money on it. That'd be awesome. Okay, here it is, guys. So go ahead and put your name in this. It's free to join. Please let me know that this link works for you. Also, we need to add on the Twitters. We need to add our pinned comment, I think. Yeah, we do. Okay, Twitter friends, there's 113 of you guys. Join our giveaway. If you're watching on Twitter right now, I just dropped the form to join our giveaway on Trader Nick. I'm going to also do it on A1 Trading's Twitter. So I want to just get you guys to take a second. We're giving away $1,000 thanks to our very first winner challenge. Remember, I challenged influencers. If you're like, what are you talking about, Nick? Well, I'm so lost. I challenged trading influencers to share 2+ years of their trading performance that beat the S&P 500 on a regulated broker. And we had a winner, which is so cool. I'm so excited to talk about that. There are traders that are legitimate, but do you guys know how few people, like, crickets, the second we say, like, hey, drop a track record, it's like crazy. So give me a second here. I'm just dropping it. Join our giveaway. If you are watching on Twitter or YouTube, I've just dropped the link in the chat for you. Fill out this form. This is your giveaway form. It is free to join. It takes just a minute to fill out. It is a bit of a survey. We're going to ask you some questions. It takes like less than a minute or 2 to just fill out. And we can go from there. So again, take advantage. That is a big thank you. And again, you'll get your chance to thank this influencer for being transparent sooner than you think. Okay, so back to the charts here. Again, join that giveaway if you have not already. It's free to join. I'm just going to drop the link one more time here on YouTube. There you go. Boom. Fill out that form. Giveaway is now live. Wow, I got like 20 plus people. I just dropped the link. There's like 25 people already entered. That's going to get huge today. But we will announce a winner pretty soon. So stick around. Should be fun. Okay, so let's get back to the charts here for a second. Claims came out this morning. They came in pretty light. Market liked that. Stock market's up. NASDAQ is up. Not huge, but modestly. Look at gold. Hello, gold. Good morning. Let's try this again, gold, shall we? So gold came up here, looked good, cash money, and then just said, absolutely, never mind. But then the question is now, can we get a breakout of this high? So we're back to that spot, and this is what I'm looking for on gold. I would love to see this thing break and close above here. And at that point, what I can do is I can then trail my stop loss. We've got a higher low. This is solid stuff. Price action wise, I think I might have a profitable trade here. Well, I am in profit, but the way I look at my trades is not floating unrealized P&L. What I look at is where's my stop loss? My stop loss is technically still at risk. What I would like to see in order to take that risk off would be, let me see the breakout here. If that happens, great. We've got gold making a good push, and then we can repeat the process here. Let's say it breaks out again. I can trail my stop loss further in, right? That's the goal. So I trail stops. It is not the holy grail. There's times where trailing stops are the most frustrating thing on the planet. But there are other times where trailing stops makes you feel like a hero because the market just keeps going and going and going. Will that be today? We'll see. I think gold has upside, but it's got to prove it. Okay. How many entries are we at? Oh my gosh, we're at 51 entries already. Awesome stuff, guys. Again, this brings me so much joy to do. I'm telling you. So I never thought this would ever come into reality. Again, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, someone called me out on Twitter. They said my trading results are fake, and I'm pulling it up live. Like, this is a real account. So they challenged me. They said, this is not a real account. It's paper trading, fancy editing. And first of all, you can't edit. Like, I don't know how you're going to edit all this live stream. Like, unless this was like a pre-recorded live stream and but I'm going to respond to someone random here. Like, hey, Raymond, what's up? Raymond, you trail stops in the 4 hour? Yes, I do. 4 hour in the daily chart is what I use for technical stuff. So anyways, my point is this. The person called me out. They said, I'm so confident that your stuff is not real that I'll bet you 0.1 Bitcoin, which came out to like $6,100. And so I said, okay, if you insist, I kept saying, like, it's a real account. Like, if you want to lose money, like, if you insist. And he insisted. So we jumped on a Zoom call and I clicked through it with him. And he actually paid the money, which was shocking. So I was like sitting there with my wife in the evening. I'm like, I just don't think there's no chance the money comes through, right? And sure enough, he sent the money. Absolutely hats off to the gentleman, because he was a little aggressive initially, but I can respect somebody who's aggressive, who follows through with their word. He sent the money, like, huge respect to him. And then actually, I think him and I are on pretty good terms now, because we've been chatting since then about what I'm going to do with the money. And what I've chosen to do with the money is give 100% of it away. Now, let me not act like a saint for a moment. I'm going to use this creatively. We're going to raise some awareness about transparent trading. So what I've offered people is, hey, if an influencer steps forward, an influencer that shows their face with a following, sells stuff, if they can step forward and they can showcase long-term results, we'll pay them $1,000 and we'll give away $1,000 to the community. We had our first one do that today. Yesterday. that being said, again, if you would like to join the giveaway, here it is. Click the link. It's free to join. We're giving away to the community shortly after. Okay. Let's keep an eye on gold. Silver is actually doing even better. My goodness. Yields on the way down, I suppose, here for the day. That's good for that. The stock market's also been liking the drop in yields. We'll see if that stays. S&P and NASDAQ, we're going to talk about this in just a moment from a technical perspective with Miko and Marco, who are joining in just a moment. But again, we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, this thing has entered into a bit of a consolidation phase, and I think it's either going to go back and we're going to see a retest the highs, which actually looks quite bullish. But if we fizzle out and we stall and sell and break support, then I think you have actually potentially a bigger correction coming. So we're at a pretty pivotal spot ahead of CPI next week. Real quick, guys, we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come right back to the A1 Trading Show with Pico and Marco, who are joining us for Technical Thursdays. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stick around with me. We'll be right back after the break.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the Edge Finder or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker Eightcap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to Eightcap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, and we are back with Miko and Marco. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello.
What is up?
Good to have you guys both back on the show. We've got good crowd here today. It's 560 people watching. Quick tip for you guys that I just found out, Miko and Marco. With our software here, I'm able to stream to multiple different destinations. I don't know if you guys have tried this before, but I'm streaming on Twitter now, and we currently together on the A1 Trading Twitter and the Trader Nick Twitter, we got like an extra 180 people watching us over on Twitter. So if you're not doing it already, highly recommend that you try it. But yeah, just figured I'd share, and shout out to our friends on Twitter. Do you guys use Twitter, Miko and Marco?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
A little bit, not as much as I do Instagram, but yeah, I do.
Fair enough. So Miko, I only really started doing Twitter like maybe a year and a half ago. But like, I don't know I feel like the trading community over on Twitter is really popping. So might be worth playing around with and saying hello to some of our Twitter friends over there. But yeah, good stuff. I guess we can jump right into it. Marco, top setups for you today in terms of your watch list. What are you looking at?
Sure. And I just want to say Twitter is really good for breaking news, like all of the news about prop firms, anything like that. Like you're going to get the freshest updates on Twitter. So really important to be on there if you're doing prop firms. So for me, for today, euro and US dollar, it's looking a bit flat, but seeing some momentum right here. So maybe this can continue. I'm looking for the next candle to continue with the momentum, and then I would look for some nice buy setups. Maybe a flag further up or like a break and retest scenario. Currently not going to put it on the watch list, not showing me much potential. EJ, I did have a buy setup running that took me out for a loss. It was a break and retest from here. Unfortunately, took me out, and now looks like it's going in the direction to the upside, but that's okay. So this was a 1% loss for me. I was seeing some very nice trending price actions. So for me to look for some more buy setups, I want to see this happen again. I want to see a nice bullish uptrend. And currently, I'm not seeing it exactly. I'm seeing a bit of a slowdown, so not going to put this one on the watch list either. Aussie US dollar took a trade as well and got stopped out as well. Took a flag setup here with a 10 pip stop loss. Unfortunately, ended up a 1% loss. But I'm liking this price action. I like this descending channel. I usually expect a reversal setup. So this bullish confirmation, this bullish signature here and here is very nice. And I'm looking for some buy setups on the Aussie US dollar. Definitely going to put it on the watch list. Next is AJ, which just broke the high according to my high and low methodology. So just broke the high. I needed to continue with some nice momentum and not retrace. So leaving this one alone, pound, being more corrective, being more flat in the general area, breaking the highs, breaking the lows as well, kind of in an expanding formation. And when I see that, I'm just a lot more patient since I'm a trend trader. New Zealand Japanese yen broke this major high, just broke it, and now possibly continuing, but again struggling. I'm not seeing that major conviction like I was seeing here, for example. So I'm looking for something like this, large blue momentum legs, to happen right here, and this pair is definitely not going to be on the watch list until I see those large bullish legs. So for me, AU is the only one with potential right now. Unfortunately, got stopped out by a couple of pips. It is what it is. That's trading.
Sure. Yeah, and some pretty big movement across the dollar pairs here this morning, just because we just had claims that came out. So unemployment claims came in higher than expected. So more people filing for unemployment, definitely going to be not a positive thing for the dollar. There's a pretty good move on the dollar index. Speaking of dollar index or dollar pairs, Miko, what do you think? Any dollar crosses setting up for you today?
Yeah, I'm liking I'm liking Euro USD and NZD USD to the downside. I'm still very bullish on the DXY, despite the downside we are seeing. Excuse me. Despite the downside we're seeing, really nice bounce off this high here, and I'm still looking for us to return back to the highs at 106,400. So that remains the plan as long as we can hold this level here. So I'm hoping to see that this bearish move will come back, retest this, and give me the opportunity to actually get, well, not long DXY, but short Euro USD, because I'm looking at basically the inverse of that opportunity, which is a retest of this resistance, then to sell, because I'm still very bearish on Euro. I'm looking at the largest swings in the market. We're still printing successive lower lows and lower highs. This is our previous high as well, creating some new lows. And we still do have somewhat of a very corrective pullback. So I'm looking for this to eventually topple out and the continuation back to the lows. So that remains my plan. Same with NZD USD as well, still successive with these lower lows and lower highs. I'm looking to see if we can print another one. And I'm looking to see again if you can retest the high there. Similar opportunity to Euro. I'll probably just look to take which one sets up better, because it's pretty much the same trade. But that's what I'll be looking at for NZD as well, and gold as well. I do like the upside here. It looks like we're starting to see a bit of life come back into gold, being very corrective for the past few days. And if we can start breaking higher, especially take up this high as well, that will leave behind some really nice long opportunities in the retest, because I think it's probably a matter of time before we do get back to the highs at 2,400. So that's kind of what I'm focused on in terms of the dollar pairs.
I like it. And I'm on the same page with you on gold here. Nice little push. Just from a high level fundamentals perspective, it seems like there's like a trend towards central banks wanting to cut rates. That's really positive for gold. But the question is, will the price action kind of give us that confirmation? I think we have like the same exact chart drawn up here on gold. Question is, you got this kind of recent, downward pressure on gold, but can we break out here? And if that happens, if you take a look at that daily chart, it does, in my opinion, if you start seeing break of structure on the 4 hour, suddenly I think this daily chart level of support is a little bit more, more strong than maybe we thought. Again, it's kind of, I was thinking about this recently with gold, and I'm very curious to hear Marco's perspective on this too in just a moment. This actually looks like it doesn't look like a big pullback in the context of this huge move, but in terms of just a normal sized gold movement, that is a peak to trough move of like 6.3%. That's a substantial move. It's a $150 move on the price of gold relative to the dollar. That's a big pullback. Like, it may not look like it per se on the chart. It's not like it pulled back all the way down to here, but from just a pure perspective of its usual move, that's a very appropriate and generous pullback. So I guess now the question is, do we get the follow through to start saying, okay, maybe that was it. Maybe that's the new low for now, and perhaps we start pushing back up, back to that high. And I agree. In my opinion, Miko, I think that that's not the high of 2024. We could be wrong about that, but if we see a path towards rate cuts for not just the U.S. but other places as well, I think you may see gold push higher. We'll see. We'll see if we're right about that. I guess, Marco, what do you think? Hourly chart, 4-hour chart, whatever you'd like to look at. Gold recently kind of choppy, but is it starting to form something here?
Sure. So gold for me on this 1-hour chart is looking pretty flat. So let's bump it up to the 4-hour. 4-hour still looks flat to me, so I'm going to have to look at the daily. Now, for the daily chart, just by gauging the momentum, I can see large bearish legs, which I don't like to see. So it would not be a buy setup for me personally, just according to the technicals. But again, the fundamentals are a completely different story.
Sure.
And I don't like this slowdown on the top either. Kind of slower candles starting to form and red candles starting to appear as well. So for me to be a buyer in this market, I would need a confirmation, another, let's say, large bullish leg, and then a possible flag formation or a nice break and retest. But I would definitely like to see a big blue candle, a big confirmation that the sellers are not winning, because in these two candles, the sellers, for me, are still in control just by gauging the momentum. Overall, sure, shooting up, absolutely. If we go maybe to the even weekly chart, this is still very, very bullish. But on the daily, I would just like to see that blue candle, that explosion to the upside, and then I would look for some nice buy setups.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's a fair point too, because if you are, for me, like with my own strategy, I fundamentally like gold to the upside. But what that can sometimes mean is that I can sit in an idea for a long time. The biggest criticism that you can make in my own, view, criticism, my own approach with fundamentals is that it really does not help you very much with timing. Like timing is not super, rigid with like a fundamentals approach. Now, I guess you could make the argument fundamentally, like you could wait for that big green candle that you're talking about, or big blue candle in your case on your charts. That's usually going to coincide with a shorter term fundamental jolting catalyst. So I guess you could say I'm going to wait for a big green candle, or, and likely at the same instance, something that really triggers another fundamental spike as well, which again, that's the cool thing about overlapping technicals and fundamentals, is that a lot of times we can end up spotting the same moves, which is really cool. So yeah, we'll have to keep it there for gold. I'd be very curious to see again if we can get maybe another candle like this, maybe another breakout candle here of this consolidation. To me, that would be a really positive thing. But I've said before, like I don't mind holding through chop periods, just personally because of my own approach and strategy. And I think also, though, it's fair to say, let's wait for some sort of movement, some sort of catalyst here, and then go from there. I guess next up on the list is the indices, and oh my gosh, they're so boring right now. In the last 2 or 3 days, I have not done anything, but it's because the catalysts have kind of dried up. A lot of the big tech earnings are behind us. A lot of the big economic data that we've been looking forward to is behind us. Jobs data, Jerome Powell speaking, PMI numbers. A lot of the numbers have come out. So we've slowed down. But next week we have CPI. So I guess we'll go to, I don't remember who went last. Let's just go Marco Miko again. So Marco, S&P 500 or NASDAQ or Dow, just thoughts on indices really quick.
Sure. So let me see. Let me go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we saw some nice momentum up. Now stagnating a little bit. Let me look at the 4 hour. It may be a bit better. Yeah, on the 4 hour, looks nice. Some bullish momentum starting to kick in. I like this leg. This leg is nice. This leg is particularly nice as well. So my bias is for this to go up. I'm not seeing any selling pressure in the last couple of days of price action. So up, let's say starting the 1st of May all the way to now, I'm seeing some nice bullish momentum. And on the daily, potential. this is exactly what I want to see after this large selling pressure. I'm seeing some bullish pressure starting to kick in. The buyers are winning again. So this large uptrend may be continuing, and this just may be a correction before we continue up. But for me, of course, I would need to wait for the price to smash the highs, because this may be no man's land. So I would look for an extra confirmation. I would look for a candle like this that closes above preferably, and then the next one to continue, and then we're at new highs, and that's the territory where I would be interested. Okay. So currently not really 100% let's say confident in my analysis, but if it smashes the high, then it's game on for buy setups, I would say.
Sure. And I guess same question to Miko. Take a look at S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, whatever you'd like to look on the indices side. And what are your thoughts on it recently? Had a nice little comeback here, right?
Yeah, very impressive. We had a very strong bearish candle. I remember last time we spoke was around here. Things weren't looking too good. However, we've had some strength with these bullish candles, and I'm very well. I was going to say very confident, but I am confident. But of course, I don't know what's going to happen. But this to me looks like price has printed it in its next higher low on the indices. S&P, US 30, NASDAQ. I'm looking at this as being the next higher low in this massive rally. And if that is the case, then we do have a very good chance we're going to come back to the high. So dropping to the 4H, again, they're all kind of sat up very similar as well. They all kind of have this push, pullback, push, pullback, push. So if I was looking to trade the indices, I'll be looking at a pullback, a retest of this high here, looks really good, and looking to see if we can find some confirmations for a higher low. That's for NAS, US 30, same thing as well. Looking at a pullback, retesting some high. Again, looking for a higher low, a push back to the high there at 39,800. And S&P, same thing as well. Looking at another retest of the high for continuations back to the all-time high there as well. So yeah, for the indices, I'm very bullish. I'm liking the momentum we're seeing. I think a good pullback could be a really nice opportunity to trade it back to the high. And yeah, I'll probably put in some higher highs as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page. I think you've had a pretty impressive, to my surprise, because you've had an impressive bounce back here, some higher lows coming into this chart. I really, thought we might see a little bit more of a pullback. I didn't take any bearish bets, but I was pretty, so what I actually did at the end of the day, the actions that I took, that's all that really matters in trading, is I sold puts on the S&P 500. I got assigned, so that trade is going pretty well. And then what I did, and this is way too technical for what we are talking about here, but the VOO trade that I'm in, I sold calls after getting assigned. So I'm in the position, and then I sold calls against the position. So all that basically means is that I have a long position, but I've also capped my upside. One thing that I love about options, and they can get highly technical very quickly, but you can basically with options get paid to set a take profit or a buy limit order. Because what you could do is you could sell a call. So I sold a call at 480. So what that means is I own shares at like let's just say I own shares here, and I have a buy position on them. With those shares, I've also sold a call against them, which says I'm capping my upside. If it goes all the way up here, I still only make this distance. But with that take profit, I also get paid in options premium for selling that call. So if the market goes here and closes right there, I make nice profit on the position, and I collect nice premium on the call. And if the market does this, where let's just say it doesn't go up to there, let's say it actually just goes like this, then obviously my P&L on this position is less, but I also collected some money for selling this call. And if it expires worthless, I still make money. It's convoluted at first, but I promise for those of you guys who are listening, I'm not trying to confuse you. Just take a look. I put out a full video on my approach here. It is sort of a mean reversion style of trading. You could search up Trader Nick options strategy or Trader Nick wheel strategy if you'd like to. But very cool. My point is, long story short, I thought the S&P 500 market in general would pull back a little further. It didn't, but I got assigned positions and I've sold for premium some calls. So even
is
though
the premium? Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Is the premium similar to swaps in Forex?
So kind of. So check this out. So what actually happens is someone else in the world wants to buy calls. You know, everyone is familiar when it comes to options. Most people are familiar with like people can buy a call or they can buy a put, and those are basically just leveraged bets. But when you're an options seller, which is what I like to do, I'm selling someone else that bet in order to offer them that bet. Just like if you go to a casino and you pay for a bet, you also pay a little spread to the casino. When you're the options seller, you sell that bet, but you also get paid a little extra in premium. And the amount in premium is this price. So this call, 480, it expires by the 17th of May. I collected 70 cents per share and I did 400 shares. So that would just be 400. I can pull up a calculator just because I can't do math in my head. 0.7 times 400 shares. So that a meager $280, but it's for doing pretty much nothing. I'm basically just capping my upside in return to collect $280. Because in my view, even though I've kind of been wrong about this, I kind of thought that the market would not immediately race back up to the highs. That being said, I still have room to be, right if the market does roll over before then. And if not, I just get called away or I take profit on my shares. So,
and is that daily?
Yeah. Sorry, what do you mean?
The premium is like added daily, or?
Oh, no. So that is the final. I sold that for a month.
Okay.
So in order for in return for a full month of capping my upside, essentially, because I thought the market would move sideways or lower. In that scenario, I actually will collect $280 over the course of a month.
Okay,
so
nice.
It's not quick, easy money by any means, but you keep doing that. You sell for premium. It can actually be a fairly consistent way to generate income on your positions. So
that's nice.
Yeah. It's a nice, I guess, complement to the traditional momentum trading that we talk so often about. But I didn't mean to go on this huge tangent. Let's talk for a moment about our favorite thing to talk about. We got to get to it. It's Bitcoin. I guess we've seen Bitcoin not do a whole lot. I actually thought we would go lower because we broke this level here. I thought we would see some lower price action. Marco, what's the latest on Bitcoin? What are your thoughts?
Let me take a look. So yeah, I thought it was gonna melt down. So this is pretty strange. After these legs that broke the major lows, I really thought we're gonna get something like this all the way to, let's say, 600. But we bounced back. So this now may be just like a slower correction before we kick back in with the bullish momentum. Again, for me, this is like a no man's land. So I would need to see large momentum up to be convinced in a bullish setup, or large momentum down to be convinced in, let's say, a bearish setup. If I had to pick a direction, I would say down. I would say we retest this level. But again, I still need the signature. Without a signature, I really cannot do anything. I need that final piece of the puzzle. So for me, no man's land. If I had to pick, it's going to go down.
Okay, fair enough. Miko, same question. What's the latest on Bitcoin for you?
Yeah, pretty similar outlook with Marco. I'm looking at this as like a larger correction, bigger pullback, because I'm still liking the momentum in that previous kind of bull run. So I'm looking at this as a pullback for the market to go higher. There are some areas down here which you could potentially go and test before looking bullish, which I think is still quite likely as well. We did have somewhat of a impulsive move after we had that breakdown last week, but it really hasn't amounted to much. We haven't taken out any key highs that has shown to me that, okay, we're now going to kick bullish again. The fact is we had this strong move here, but it looks like it's just fallen another lower high, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see us kind of just sluggishly roll over. And then that's where I do expect momentum to get back in again. So Yeah, Bitcoin, I think we can still reach the highs again and probably higher as well based on the previous impulse leg. But I do think there's probably more downside short to medium term, but longer term, I still do favor upside.
Okay, fair enough. I guess we'll have to see. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think Bitcoin, in terms of what we see price action wise, I do still also kind of see it pretty choppy. But we are, I guess, arguably putting in some lower highs and some lower lows. So I think your idea of Marco, like a kind of a gradual correction here in the meantime, and same thing with you, Miko. We've talked about this level a couple times, this 52,000 area. I think that could still be the final kind of pullback point. In the meantime, I think it's crazy as it might sound. I mean, Bitcoin just moves so quickly. This was a pullback here of what, 12,500. So 12,500. If we saw that same move, that would put us around, 48. So, it's just, it can move so quick. So I think that we're putting in lower highs. I don't see it very much just anecdotally on the news as much. So I think that is also a negative factor as well. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it. But for now, seems stagnating, seems sideways to slightly lower. And we'll just have to check back next week. Before we call it there, I just want to also say, for my friends in the audience, do us a favor. Miko and Marco both have their own YouTube channels, and I know Marco has Twitter. Miko may join us over on Twitter at some point. He might have to dabble his way over there. I don't know. But either ways, we're going to drop the links at least to their YouTube channel here if you're watching with us live on YouTube. And if you're watching with us on Twitter, Marco, what's your Twitter handle?
I think it's Marco's Journey. Okay. So without the trading, it's just Marco's Journey. Yeah.
Okay, Marco's Journey.
I'm gonna put it in the chat probably.
We get some like the personal side of Marco too over there, not just not just his trading journey. It's his full journey. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so their channels are linked here. Please do us a favor. Make sure to go subscribe to Miko, go subscribe to Marco, and show them some love. Thank them for coming on. Again, this is a free thing that they do. They're not getting paid to come on. They're coming on, and in return, I'm hoping to offer them exposure and growth, and they deserve it. They're great guys and great traders. So thank you guys very much for coming on the show. We'll see you back next week.
Yep.
Thank you. See ya.
See you.
All right.
Adios.
See you guys. All right. And also just a reminder, in case you missed it just a few moments ago, before Miko and Marco joined, I was talking a little bit about our giveaway that we are doing. We're currently giving away $1,000. Well, we're giving away more than that. But today we're doing our first round. We're doing our first round of giveaway. We're giving away $500 to 2 different people. If you would like to join that giveaway, it is totally free to join. In order to join, I'm going to drop the link here. Let me see if I got to find the link. Link. Okay, here's the link. If you're watching on Twitter, it should be a comment below the post that you're watching. And this should be the correct link. Okay. So if you want to join the giveaway, we're giving away $1,000. Click this link right here. Fill out the quick survey. It will ask you just a couple general trading questions. It should take you just a minute. Put your email in there, and we are going to be selecting at random 2 different winners that will be winning $500. So highly excited to do that. And if you're wondering why, there's a bunch of context to this, but basically someone challenged me on Twitter to show that my accounts that I showcased were real. They said they would give me 0.1 Bitcoin. I showed them. They actually paid the 0.1 Bitcoin. And with the 0.1 Bitcoin, which is about $6,000, I'm giving it away through fun mediums. There's more to that story, but I'm not going to repeat myself if you heard it earlier. Basically, if you'd like to join for a chance to win $500, click this link right here, fill out that application. Just takes a minute, and you can potentially win some money as a thank you. So here's the final context. Why giving away the money? Like, why just randomly throwing it away? Well, I'm not randomly at all. We had somebody come forward and show their track record. So I offered $1,000 to an influencer if they could step forward and show their 2-year plus track record. And certainly we had our first one. And so with the rules, the agreement basically is if an influencer do that, then we'll give away $1,000 to them and $1,000 to the community. So we're giving away $1,000 to the community thanks to our very first person. If you don't know who it is, don't worry. It's because I'm not saying it out loud yet. I'm going to announce that very shortly. I like how you win the bet and just give it away to your fans. I mean, so you guys know me. I'm a businessman. I'm giving it away, but I'm giving it away in a creative way. When you fill out that application, what you'll see is I ask you a couple questions. Like if you're looking for a new brokerage, someone from my staff is going to reach out to you and they're going to say, hey, we got some brokerages here on our website. Or if you're looking for a free course, here's our free course material on our website. So we're gonna use it as an opportunity. It is, when I plug this into my accounting, spending, it's going to be marketing spending. So someone actually sent me the money, and I'm not just giving it straight up away. There's a little bit of a business opportunity there, but you guys know I'll keep it real with you. So I think is that the end of the show? I think we don't have anybody else, right, Chandler? Let me know. Just DM me if we're good. I don't want to shut down if we have somebody else coming on, but I think that's it. Again, link to join that challenge is in the chat. Business is business. Absolutely. I'm not using, we're using it as marketing spend so that it's, we can plug it into our accounting and that. Okay. No one else planned. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up the show. Again, I hope you win. I hope you win the $500. Genuinely, it is $500 for free if you are randomly selected. 500. We're giving 2 different people $500. But you do have to answer your email. You have to put your email. And also, when you fill out this form, you'll be put onto our email list, which we share like trade ideas and things like that. So full transparency. You can always opt out of that too. If you're like, no, I don't actually want those emails, then by all means, unsubscribe. But they're good emails. Frank does a great job. Julie does a great job. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the stream. Thanks very much for hanging out with us, and see you back on the next one. See you guys later.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to share free value to you, our audience, through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more, lest ye walk the plank. Join our crew as we head out to go long on gold. See you next time.